The Great War, a global conflict like no other. Destruction, misery, death. Each battle left a distinct mark in its own way. The First Battle of Ypres is no exception.
Hello, my name is Jamie Corningstone, Professor of War at Oxford University. Today, we will delve into the third installment of our documentary series, titled Influential Battles of the Great War. The focus of this episode will be on the First Battle of Ypres, in which an ancient Flemish city in the north of Belgium became the site of one of the bloodiest battles of 1914, and ultimately set the stage for what would come to be known as the Year of the Stalemate. So join us as we explore this battle in depth and the impact that it had on the Great War as a whole. To begin, we must understand what happened prior to this battle. And here to do that for us is Professor of War Arthur Zimmerman.
After the German defeat at the Battle of the Marne, German and Allied forces embarked on what was to be known as the Race to the Sea. Each side attempted to outflank the other with the ultimate goal of becoming the first to reach the North Sea. This endeavor eventually came to a halt, and the two sides were forced into combat just outside the city of Ypres.
By October 8th, preparations were being made for battle. The Allied forces took the shape of a small salient in the trench lines, because they could that way best defend the low ridge of higher ground to the east. But this did leave them vulnerable to superior German artillery.
At the outset, French forces had a very optimistic view of the battle. The French forces, led by General Ferdinand Foch, retained the hope of launching an offensive of their own. They believed a coordinated attack would enable the Allies to recapture other parts of Belgium.
French war plans were quickly crushed by German Army Chief of Staff Erich von Falkenhayn. Falkenhayn's Flanders offensive began on October 20th when he ordered an advance to break through the Allied line and capture the ports of Dunkirk, Calais, and Boulogne. He struck the Belgian defenses on the Yser River between Dixmude and Newport.
The key to British success was their ability to use their rifles well. At one point, German forces felt that they were under machine gun fire, when in fact British troops were just using their regular rifles, but were using them so efficiently and firing them very quickly.
In order to delay the German offensive, Belgium, under King Albert, destroyed their own dikes, flooding a 10-mile radius in between the two forces. And, this did delay the German offensive.
The Flanders offensive was essentially a series of assaults by the German army on the actual city of Ypres. Thanks to their Fourth Army, the German forces heavily outnumbered the Allied forces, and the Allied forces were forced to recruit a number of Indian battalions, which actually proved outstanding in both offense and defense of the city. On November 11th, the German forces actually broke British lines.
So you're telling me that the Germans had a breakthrough against British lines?
Yes. However, the Germans did not pursue their advantage immediately, which gave British forces enough time to scrounge together some haphazard units to fill in the lines and defend the city.
So had the Germans been more aware of the situation, how different could the outcome of this battle be?
Oh, totally different. The Germans probably would have won the battle and taken Ypres.
Unbelievable.
The fighting was some of the bloodiest and most dangerous of the entire war. One soldier, Private Donald Fraser, explained it this way: "One man was not a soldier unless he had served on the Ypres front."
Ultimately, the arrival of the harsh Belgian winter on November 22nd cut this conflict short, but not before considerable damage was done. Casualties on both sides were significant, despite very little progress on either side. 130,000 German soldiers were either killed, wounded, or missing, and 100,000 for the British, Belgian, and French forces. This type of fighting went on to embody the concept of the Year of the Stalemate, with many lives being lost and very little progress being made. The Battle of Ypres taught both sides that this war was here to stay. It would not be won without consequence. Thank you for joining us.